What's up, Rebel Scum? Today, we got this amazing childhood dream here of owning one of the Starspeeders and having all the functionality of it in the palm of your hands. Now, this is a continuation of the Starspeeder 3000 that came out at D23 last year. If you were fortunate enough to get one of those, you got the classic Starspeeder before the ride was overhauled in the early 2010s. And now this is Star Tours The Adventure Continues, and it's the Starspeeder 1000. Not really sure why they went back instead of forward and made it like the 5000 or something like that. But anyway, we have the 1000 here, featuring some great features such as the display of the ride, so actual scenes from the ride, light up interior, opening doors, it got all the seats, we got a space for R2, a captain's chair for C-3PO, and of course it's going to pair great with some of your Hasbro crossover Star Tours figures that were made for The Adventures Continue, such as this Search for the Rebel Spy pack. Then there's also the Ambush Star Tours pack. Then there's the Star Tours Travel Agency, and then there's the Sector 2 Security. And I think it was just these 4 packs correspond with the Adventure Continues. Then there were a couple of figures in the Power of the Jedi line, and as well as a multi-pack, and those all corresponded with the Starspeeder 3000, because they were in the sort of the queue video for the line queue when you were waiting to get on, that you saw all those characters and those scenes from. So these are more pertinent to the Starspeeder 1000. It even says so on the back of the box. It says Starspeeder 1000. So if you're trying to find figures that go with the set, even though this one is Disney as the company, and this is Hasbro with a Disney Parks exclusive. So that's sort of the difference there. But I'm pretty sure this is 100% Disney, as is the Starspeeder 3000. So why don't we just crack into it and check out this awesome set here. Okay, first, this thing is huge. We have a lot to get through, so I'm going to be moving you around as we take a look. First, inside the box, we have a couple figures. It comes with an R2, which we're going to pop up here in his little holder and get him situated on the ship. We have a C-3PO and a captain's chair. Now, these are Droid Factory figures. These are not going to be the Hasbro versions of these characters, so they're going to look a little bit different. But if you have the Droid Factory figures, you're familiar with that. So we're going to get him situated here. You can see him in his captain's chair already. So he's all ready for when we get inside the flight. And then we have this little stowaway droid too. I think it goes perfectly in here. You can see a little peg for it. You could just sit him in here. It's a fun little storage spot for him. And he'll be here on your side. Now, let's take a look at some of the exterior features. I mean, already you can see this thing is huge. It's got all the functionality of it. You can see the front here. Some cool parts here. It has the guns. They pop out. They light up and fire. You could also fire the side blasters you can see right there. And then you have the lights in the front. So it has already all the awesome functionality you know from the ride. Now I have it plugged in USB mode. You could also throw some batteries in there to get it operating that way. But for now, I have it. I just want to run it on USB. So we have our R2 in there. So the top here, if you could see this, it slides forward. Now, I think up here, if you wanted to, you could store some of those suitcases that come with some of the Star Tours sets, because there's enough space here between the top and bottom for your luggage. But we'll take this off to the side. Now we have our top panel. Now our top panel here kind of pushes forward. You push these 2 buttons. The whole top comes off so you could access the interior. Now, in the interior here, it looks very similar. You have the air jets just like a plane, and it has the spots for the no smoking stickers. Now, those come attached to some of the holders inside the box, so make sure you take those out and don't lose them. I didn't put them on yet, but they go just on the top here, and they have that no smoking and seatbelt buckled symbol, just like the ride, in the real ride. So, of course, another one of the really cool features is the opening doors. So you can push the button here. All the doors open. It's got the all aboard ding. I mean, that is awesome. And they will stay open in there until you close them. Now, just like you do when you exit, the other side opens as well. These are manual though. These doors do not, I popped it all the way off. These doors swing open manually. They do not open with a button. So if you want to open the other side for exiting, but why would you ever want to leave? So you can open the doors there, and then you will push the button again all the way in to close them. So they're all on that component. So that is really, really cool. All right, let's get into this interior. All right, so here we are on our interior. We get that blast shield up. We're waiting to board. This is just like the start of the ride. I love this little detail here. They even have that little panel that the Disney operator uses to make sure all the seatbelts are fastened. Now, this doesn't light up or anything, but it's still cool that they added that little detail. Inside each row, we have seatbelts. They're just a little elastic cord that is connected on the side, so you can unplug it, sneak all your guys in there, or you could honestly just move it while you wedge your characters in there, since it's elastic. So you could fit full-size characters in here. Let me grab somebody just to show you that you could use Hasbro, or you could use the Droid Factory figures. So we'll just use this Vintage Collection Snaggletooth here and show you how he could fit. Just gonna bend his knees, get him all into position, and then pop him into a chair. So we'll just put him front row or some second row center and pop him in there, and he fits perfectly. So you have plenty of room to fit your characters. You can fit tons of characters in here, just like you can in the ride. And then we have the blast shield. Now the blast shield just comes down manually. We just pop that out. So now we can see our interior cabin. Now in here, we have our captain's chair with this little circular design that will fit right, pop right into the holder there. You can spin him around. There we go. He's starting to talk already. So you could kind of pop him in here. And now we have our screen capability. So we have two buttons. I believe one button is going to make C-3PO talk, and the other button is going to activate some of the ride features. Just not really sure which one does which. I think it's this one here. There we go. So that is C-3PO talking.
I'm not actually the captain.
So here, say a bunch of phrases from the ride, and then we have the ride itself.
Star Tours 1401, you are cleared for departure. Initiate takeoff sequence.
On takeoff sequence initiated.
So let's try to get a nice close look for you.
Ready for takeoff. It's not board yet.
So it has the opening to the ride, exactly like the ride, which is just so cool. Now, in addition to this, it should have some randomized flight sequences as well. So I'm not sure if it has a different sequence every single time. Like here's the Rebel Spy one. So it will go through this sequence. I'm not sure if it also randomizes and does the Darth Vader, and if it does the other alternate openings, and but it will start taking you through the sequence, and you will go through a Star Tours ride. So I don't know if you want to sit here and watch each one, but essentially, this, you see the cockpit lights up just like it does in the ride. So you have those TIE Fighter flashes in here, and you have the, it's not going to shake or vibrate or anything like that. You have your Starfield sequence, and then it's going to start going through your different little ride aspects. So it'll take you, now we're on Tatooine, and it'll take you through different rides here. It's going to be hard to see it all with the reflection of the LCD screen, but it's actually quite sharp. I don't know if I could zoom in on that enough to get you to see it, but it is a really solid image on there. It's hard to come across through the camera, but I promise you it looks really, really good in person. So really cool that you're able to do this whole sequence for the ride. And it's just got all that detail in the ride. It has the sound. You got C-3PO talking through it just like he did in the ride. You can see the top of the pod superimposed there, like it's the pod for the Starspeeder itself. And it just has all those great elements. You can see some reflective surfaces in the interior here as well. But, I mean, they outdid themselves by engineering this, because it really captures the whole process. And look, now we got the Rebel Spy part here. The only thing they didn't do is, of course, use the screen on the right here. That would have been really cool, that mini screen, if they were able to capture your picture and make you the Rebel Spy, just like they do on the ride. But they didn't, I mean, they didn't do that. I mean, it's already over the top awesome. But to do that would have just made it just unbelievable. But it, like I said, it's taking you through the whole ride sequence. I'll take a look with it and play around and see if there are other randomized sequences, just like there are in the ride, because that would be pretty cool if there's more than just one playthrough. But it does take you through the entire ride. I thought it was just going to be clips, but it really does do the whole thing. So let's see if the explosions carry into the interior like they did with the TIE Fighter. Yes, they do. So now we see the blue laser bolts, just like we saw the green ones from the TIE Fighter. And now we can see the little buzzsaw droids on top here, just like the sequence from the Star Tours ride. And then we're going to have R2 or somebody zap them off as we go through here, and you can see all the explosion interior effects. I mean, they really, really captured it here. So I think that this should be the landing sequence now. Or is it going through? No, it's going through Coruscant now. So yeah, you get at least 3 different scenes here. You get the sky battle, you get the ground level, and then you had the Tatooine at the beginning. And the other feature you could do is Starfield. So you could put it into manual Starfield and then take it out of manual Starfield. I'll show you that in just a second as we want to wrap up the entire video. So we're landing, and we hit the little droid, which, you know, fortunately is included in your pack here. So we will get that little droid if we want to take him out here. So like I said, he matches up perfectly with this set. And then, yeah, I mean, it at least takes you through one full Star Tours ride, which is amazing. I can't emphasize that enough. It even has the farewell. All right, so the other feature is going to be the Starfield. So you push both these together, and it should, there we go. It should go into a Starfield, and then if you want to take it into hyperspace? No, oh, it just turns on a Starfield. Okay, so if you just want it to be on and in Starfield mode, you could just have it like this. So then it could just play continuously in this Starfield, just as a nice little backdrop, which I don't think is the worst thing. And then you could have him talk while you're doing that. So that's another fun little added feature you could do to it. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially it. Pretty cool. Let's see if we get a different sequence. I'll start it up just to see if it works. So then you hit the button again. You go through another sequence, or you should go through another sequence. But yeah, well, I'm not sure what I did, but you get the gist of it. That is pretty awesome. This thing has just about everything you could imagine. I don't know if the rear lights light up. I didn't try that. Let me see if we get that going right now. There's rear engines right here. Let me see if I get it started up again. So here's the rear here. These do light up, as I was saying. It's more subtle than the other one. We'll see if it gets a little bit more as it starts to take off. But that is pretty cool that these light up as well. But I mean, it's all encompassing. And the last feature I didn't tell you about was the landing gear. The landing gear at the bottom here is retractable. I'll see if I can show it to you really quick. There you go. So they're retractable, and there are locks to make those in and out in case you wanted to display it a certain way. But, you know, I think it's better to leave the landing gear on, because that way you don't have to worry about it sinking on top of your cord, because the cord is underneath. So here we go. We have Grogu and the Mandalorian on here as one of the randomized screens in the middle. So there are other sequences, even up to the most current version of the ride, which is really awesome. So can confirm at least this. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there are other randomized sequences of the ride. So if anyone has it out there, if they want to go through every single sequence, like here's another planet we're going through right now. So really cool. This does have several randomized sequences. Here we go. We have the giant space whales. So yeah, I can confirm that there are multiple randomized sequences that will go through here. I don't know if it has multiple endings and openings, but if you want to play around with it and try to figure it out, go for it. But this is extremely cool that they have more than one option for the ride. All right, that was a lot to take a look at. There are at least 3 sequences in there with multiple planets, everything from the sequel trilogy to the prequel trilogy to the original trilogy. We have Kylo Ren opening, we have a Stormtrooper opening, or 2 versions of the Stormtrooper opening. We have 3 different ending possibilities, including ending at Galaxy's Edge. You have call-outs from BB-8, Yoda, the Mandalorian Grogu, as I showed you. So there's a lot of randomization in here as to when these videos play, but it's the entire ride 3 times, at least 3 times over, with the matching lighting sequences and everything. The big difference between this and the Starspeeder 3000, other than the really cool light at base, is that doesn't play the entire ride. It plays snippets of the ride. This one plays the whole thing in sequence and has some randomization as to when it plays those different other planets in it as well. So really cool that they got one that functions exactly like the actual ride. Now it will pair well with some of these additional figures like I showed you, including the little Hunt for the Rebel Spy one that goes in there as well. So these have been increasing in price on eBay, so if you want to get one, get it soon. Because they are really cool to pair together with your set. Like I said, if you want to have some baggage that comes in these set, you can store them in the top here in this little cargo storage area. So it's kind of fun that they give you a place to store the luggage that comes in these sets. If not, it works with any of your Hasbro figures. It will work with a 3 3/4 scale figure, so it's the perfect accompaniment. Now, it's sold out, so you can't really get it unless you grabbed it on May the 4th when it came out for sale, or if you got the D231 last year, that went up for, I think, very briefly. There was some stock left and it sold out instantly. Now it's like $1,000 in the secondary market. This guy was $300 originally. Now it's up to $550 on the secondary market and climbing. It is really, really, really cool. So if you were going to splurge on something in the secondary market, I mean, to me, this is worth it. If I couldn't get one, I would have bought one anyway, just because of how amazing it is. And again, I mean, everything in there, the blasters, the flip out blasters, the side blasters, all the lights across the entire spectrum here for this thing. I wish these would go back in with the button push too. That would be really cool if they flipped out and in, but I mean, there's not a lot to complain. This thing is just amazing. That secondary screen would have been cool if they had some of the actors pop on, but I guess there would have been some, I don't know, rights usage or something if they did that, to have a little tiny LCD, and it probably would have raised the price significantly. But very little to complain about with this one in total. It's a little hefty, probably in maybe a little under 5 pounds, but really, really cool. So again, really wanted to share this with you guys because it's a must for any Star Wars fan, for any fan of the ride, for any Disney fan. It's just this little piece that you're taking it home with you, which is so cool to be able to have this. So that is all for this time. Next up is the Vintage Collection Cantina. Yes, we have it. We have the deluxe version, so we're going to be setting that up. I'm going to be going through whatever we can on the assembly part. It might take a little while. We're going to be showing you all the figures that are available out there, a couple customs I threw into to make up for some of the characters that are not. We're going to have the movie arrangement from the moment before Luke walked in to where all the characters are in the cantina. If you want to copy that, we've done extensive research on that as well. And we're going to have a nice setup display with our other Streets of Mos Eisley, because you guys really like it when we throw together some displays. So we'll be doing that together as well. So tune back for that really soon. But for now, very cool. Totally worth it. You'll be very happy if you're able to grab this piece. So once again, like, subscribe, and follow, and stay vigilant, you Rebel Scum.